Hello, today we're going to be talking about winches. As you can see, we have the Python and the Viper laid out here. One thing we want to point out with each one of these components is this bracket right here. This is what we mount the controller boxes to, and then this bracket mounts to our frame through these holes here. And now we're going to talk about how to install a winch on an electric MTV or LSV. You're going to start by removing the 4 5/16 carriage bolts on the top of the brush guard right here. Remove those and then loosen these two bottom 3/8 bolts on the bottom of the brush guard. This will get the brush guard loose from the machine, and then you want to come up under here and loosen off these 5/16 nuts that are holding the support bracket to the machine here, and slide those back out of your way. So you'll leave the brackets on the machine, just slide them backwards. And then once that's out of the way, we'll explain how to install the winch plate. As you can see, we have removed the 4x4 plate, and you will no longer need this if you're installing a winch. And then we're going to slide our winch bracket inside in between the brush guard and the brush guard supports. As you can see, it's sandwiched in between the brush guard and the brush guard support. On the top side, you'll just reuse the bolts that you had supplied, that came on the machine. And then on this bottom side, you're going to install this bent bracket that goes behind the two uprights. And I'll just place it on here so you can see. It'll slide right here, and it lines up with the two holes on the bottom of this winch plate. And you'll use the hardware supplied to tighten this winch plate down, and then we can install the winch to the plate. Okay, and once we have our winch plate installed, we're going to talk about this wiring here. The harness comes with the winch kit that was sent to you, and the battery. You want to wire the red and black leads with the eyelets on them to the battery before you install it, and then we'll just explain to you how each one of these plugs plug into the machine. So as you can see here, this is a later model LSV, so this converter right here can sometimes be mounted down here behind the front two batteries. So what the kit also includes is this converter relocation bracket. So on our frames now, this is welded to the frame for the machine, but what you'll have to do is self-tap it. You use the self-tappers that are that are included with your kit, and screw it down to the frame right here. So you'll be moving the converter up to this location so you can put your battery behind the front two batteries. And then once that's installed, you're going to just jump off the converter with your plugs for the harness. So the 3-prong plug will plug in here and plug in here, and then the 2-prong will plug in here and here. And then the other 2 leads that are left are just for your remote box for your winch. So if you're doing this on LSV, you can just simply bend the horn out of the way and set the battery down, and once we have it set in, we'll show you how to use the hold down for the battery. Okay, as you can see, we have the battery setting in the machine now, and it's real important to make your post be facing the rear of the machine, and the hold down, the battery hold down, on the furthest forward side of the battery. So you'll drill 2 1/4-inch holes where this hold down would line up, and stick the bolt in from the bottom and put a wing nut on the top and tighten it down. That's what will hold your battery down. And now we'll explain this harness here. When you get to the machine, it's plugged in like this. And then you're just going to unplug it and plug in the harness on both ends of the converter. And then once that's plugged in, you're going to mount your 48-volt relay here, and your controller box for your winch will be mounted on the bracket that they supplied to you, and you'll use the self-tappers provided to self-tap it here in the center of this main hoop on the frame. And you want to just keep in mind there's a wiring harness running behind it, so you want to make sure that's pushed up out of the way whenever you tighten it down. And then as far as wiring goes, you'll have the 2 leads to the harness going to the battery that we discussed before, and then you'll have the cables that came with the winch itself. 2 will go to the battery, which are the ones labeled B minus and B plus, which is black and red, and then your M minus and M plus will go down to the motor. Those are your longest cables and go up front to the winch itself. And then once you're done there, you're going to wire your controller switch red to red. And we'll pan around and show you the other side of the switch, but we've already ran our wires inside the machine, and this is where the receptacle plugs in to the controller box, and then we're going to jump off the red that also runs to the switch, and our black wire is grounded to your B minus, this black wire here. You can either put an eyelet on it and tighten it down here, or you can splice into the existing black wire. And now we'll show you underneath the dash where we've mounted our switch. You're limited. This is a newer machine, so it has a plastic firewall and plastic dash, and you may be installing a winch on an older machine that does not have this, but basically you have about 10 inches of wire that comes with this wired into the plug itself already. So you can extend that if you need to and locate this where it's convenient for the customer, but this is where we're located it because there's already a hole that we use on other models in this firewall, so it's just at your discretion there.